Bills looking to take home the AFC East crown for the 5th consecutive season. But the offseason saw the departure of several of Josh Allen's teammates, including his top target, Stephon Diggs. Now, the OC, Joe Brady, took over halfway through the season last year. He said the offensive plan is still to be determined, and it'll depend on how things shake out during training camp. That's interesting. Dave, Bills have been dominant over Josh Allen's tenure. They've dominated the AFC East, but given all of the losses, is that dominance over?
I'm begging everybody else to say so. Like, please jump off the Bills bandwagon, throw that dirt on them so I can look smart 5 months from now when they win the AFC East for, I believe, a 5th time in a row.
Yeah.
I know that they haven't reached the Super Bowl. I know they haven't gotten past the Chiefs, but I think that playoff shortcoming is detracting from the respect that the Buffalo Bills deserve if this is how we're talking about them in 2024. Because they have been a model of consistency. They do have, in my opinion, one of the 3 best quarterbacks walking around on planet Earth right now. Josh Allen, not just a great quarterback, but a quarterback that you can build an entire team around. I think that's what Joe Brady meant just now, the Bills OC, talking about it's TBD. Because he's basically like, we got Josh in some parts. But you know what? Josh is really damn good, and we'll figure out who we're going to utilize as we go through this thing. No, I don't think the Bills are a favorite, or, you know, would I pick them to get to the Super Bowl? I probably wouldn't. But I absolutely think this is still their division until proven otherwise.
We shall see.
We shall.
Who do you trust in this division?
The Buffalo Bills.
A-Rod.
The Dolphins to win.
No. Who do you trust in this division? Aaron Rodgers is one person.
Jets.
You trust the Jets.
You don't trust the Jets. Stop lying.
So that's why I said Aaron, because Aaron.
Well, we said that last year, and Aaron wasn't there. Like, he was on the team, but Aaron wasn't there.
To win the division, get to the playoffs.
You ain't saying that with the bass. I know why I'm talking low today. Okay, I don't have a voice. Why are you not saying that?
I'm trying not to argue with you because I don't want you to.
That's true. You're right. You aren't supposed to. You're supposed to agree with me. Listen, I want to trust the Dolphins. I'd love to trust the Dolphins. I don't want to trust the Jets. It's a miserable experience. I don't trust the Jets. There is another team in the division, too, we should mention. It's the Patriots, but, I mean, I guess they'll play some games.
Sure.
Who do you trust in this division?
Yeah.
I know the Bills lost a lot of players. They still have the best quarterback in the division. They still have the same head coach. I want to say that the division's open. I will say that. The division is wide open, except for the Patriots. The division is wide open. The Dolphins win, no one will be surprised. If the Jets win, it will make sense.
It'll be a story.
It'll make sense. It'll make sense if the Jets.
That out,
Yeah, I mean, it's surprise. They haven't made it to the playoffs in 13 years. It'll make sense if they win the division. It won't be a surprise if the Dolphins do. But if the Bills win again, it's not going to be a surprise either.
It will be a surprise to me.
It would be a surprise.
A surprise?
A surprise.
I just think
like a surprise is like, oh,
it would be a surprise because
this.
Josh Allen is just so outnumbered right now.
He is, but again, who do you trust? Trust is such an important thing in life, James. It's so important.
You cut me off. I tried to tell you.
I just don't believe you.
I think the dominance is over. I'm not saying the Buffalo Bills will not get to the playoffs, because they do have a really good quarterback. But I think the dominance is over to win the division strictly because I believe Josh Allen is outnumbered by a lot. When you look at the roster of the Dolphins and the Jets, I just don't know if Josh Allen can compete with those boys consistently. And then out of that, schedule-wise, they play the Baltimore Ravens. They play the Houston Texans.
That's tough.
We play the Jets twice. We play the Dolphins twice. We play the Kansas City Chiefs.
Nice.
We play the San Francisco 49ers.
We have to.
We play the Detroit Lions. And we play the Los Angeles Rams. That's an extremely tough schedule for a young roster of receivers and Josh Allen. You don't know if you get Milano back. When you get Milano back healthy, the defense has a lot of question marks. You lost a lot of pieces on the defensive side of the ball. What is Von Miller going to be? I just think they are outnumbered. And that's why I agree with you, because I believe if Josh Allen has a big-time year, this is his MVP year. I don't necessarily think it means him going far in the playoffs, but I think he's going to have to play like Superman to even make that happen. The other teams just got too much. Josh Allen don't have enough.
That's very well said. Well, speaking of having too much, Kansas City Chiefs, not only did they win the Super Bowl last year, but they added 2 first-round picks. I think he's stubborn enough to do that.
But that's what I'm saying, though, because we keep saying he can adapt and do all this type of stuff. Like, you had Dak Prescott doing that. Then you go over here to the Chargers with Justin Herbert, and you hear all this talk about Dak turning the ball over, and you turn Justin Herbert into a dude handing the ball off, and Justin Herbert is one of these dudes that can spread the ball all over the yard. So that's what I'm saying. Like, when we talk about adapting to the players that you have, he hasn't shown me that he can do that. And I don't, like I say, when 97% of this offense is new, he didn't have read option in his plan with Dak or Herbert.
I think Jalen is more of an athlete than even Dak, like even than either of those guys. So I think it's different. And I would argue during Kellen's time in Dallas, he changed his offense with the personnel that he had on the same team. Again, Dak had a 5,000-yard season one year. There were other years where Zeke ran for 1,600 yards. I think he's willing to adapt.
All I'm saying is if Hurts don't return to all-pro form, blame Kellen.
Yeah, I think we will. But, I mean, Jalen can also throw the ball.
He can't.
I'm saying he can't.
Are we? Because it kind of sounds like he's limited in
I'm
the
just saying
passing game.
that ain't what he showed us, though.
Who?
Hurts. Like, his all-pro year, he passed for 3,700. So he ain't showed us that he's just like a true natural passer. He showed us that's when he's at his best, it's read option, it's running, it's getting on the move, throwing the ball. But that's not Kellen Moore's offense. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if Kellen Moore fits Hurts' play style.
Where interesting for me is sometimes coaches are stubborn. Sometimes coaches does what it.
Yeah, but
coaches
has
does.
Kellen Moore respectfully earned the right to come in and be stubborn?
No.
And they have an
last
offensive
year.
head coach.
But the thing for me is like, coaches can't always adapt. It's weird, Joy. It's not like they don't want to adapt. It's they revert back to who they are.
Do we not have any faith in Nick Sirianni's ability to oversee the offense?
I don't. And I don't say that disrespectfully. I say that as Sirianni, when you lost your OC in Steichen,
Yes.
when you lost your
After
OC in
22.
Steichen, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
I mean, Steichen was his first choice.
Correct. But if you lose them, like when Shanahan lost his OC, when McVay lost all of his OCs, he lost Kevin O'Connell, he lost
Okay, well,
Zach Taylor.
maybe we don't compare Sirianni yet to the,
But the
resume
reason we
of-
almost have to is because Sirianni went to the Super Bowl, like they did after 2 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Sirianni showed us, okay, you're a Super Bowl coach at a young age.
Yeah.
McVay showed us he lost with Goff. You're a Super Bowl coach at a young age. Okay.
But what I'm
Zach
saying is
Taylor leaves.
Shanahan has clearly been able to replace coordinators at a
Yes.
very high level. McVay won a Super Bowl and has been able to replace coordinators at a really high level. His first choice was really good, got them to the Super Bowl, right? So maybe he's still trying to sort through his next replacement. He's capable of hiring. He did it the first time.
But that's all I'm saying. Like, when you look at what Sean McVay did, he's like, I need a dude that can fit my offense. You know what I'm saying? And that is stand in the pocket with a super arm, can make all these throws. Goff had a decent one, but Matthew Stafford has a better arm. All I'm saying is I think they replaced their offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore, and it doesn't match their quarterback of what he does best. And I think if
But
he
my
doesn't
thing-
get back to that form,
and here's my fear.
it's on the OC.
Here's my fear as well, though, is I don't know what Nick Sirianni's offense is. Because, Joy, the Kellen Moore thing was weird. Like, Kellen Moore is an offensive mind, and he runs his own offense. You don't hire a Kellen Moore if you are an offensive mind. Because you are an offensive mind. Like, Kyle Shanahan would never hire Kellen Moore.
Well, read between the lines, though, Acho. It's Kellen Moore offense. The man said it's 97% no, so you kept 3 plays of Nick Sirianni.
I respectfully don't. I don't buy it. I respectfully don't think that'll be
I
the
think
case.
it's new, Dave. Kellen Moore runs a unique offense,
He
big
does.
dog. Like,
but the Eagles organization, I mean, Jeffrey Lurie's still there, Nick Sirianni's still there. Like, they know what can work and how successful it can be.
But how can you say that after last year?
Hold
Hold on,
point,
Dave. I can't even let you utter that, what I believe to be a lie.
What?
At the point in which they're on 3 defensive coordinators in 2 years, and they're on 2 offensive coordinators in 2 years.
But they're
how
on
can
a
you
different
say-
offensive coordinator because they went to a Super Bowl and their offensive coordinator got a job.
And they also just tried
And
to
then
replace him
and then they
in-house.
promoted in-house, and it.
But I think you're misunderstanding me. All I'm saying is, like, the Eagles know what this can look like when it's really good. And I don't think, obviously, I mean, you're going to change stuff every year and tweak things, but there's no need for an overhaul here. Need I remind you, even when this team, they were so tedious last year, and it felt like they won every game by 2 points, but they still were 10-1 when it all fell apart. I don't think this is a team in need of a complete revamp.
But that's what they did.
I disagree. And to Joy's point, as much as I like him, who is Kellen Moore? Like, that star has faded a little bit from the wonderkind who was supposed to be, who interviewed for the Eagles head coaching job.
Right.
He went to LA and it blew up in his face. Who is Kellen Moore to come in and be like, this is how we're doing it from the top down?
But the problem is,
I don't buy
I
it.
think Kellen Moore has to do that because I don't think Nick Sirianni is doing that.